The grim, gaunt captains of the ferries and the river Styx. These creatures have total command over their vessels, ensuring that their passengers reach their destinations safely. Sometimes these creatures can be coaxed away from the lower planes to captain other vessels, affording those ships and crews the same protection. Whenever one of these creatures takes on a contract to captain a ship, it bonds with the vehicle to make sure nothing goes awry with it during the journey. This creature can navigate its ship safely through the worst storms, always stay on course, and never runs afoul of the myriad hazards that can thwart lesser captains. This creature can hold its own in a fight, but it prefers to avoid combat when possible. In fact, it typically specifies in its contracts that it is under no obligation to fight. This creature's first duty is always to its vessel. This is the Merrenoloth. Hi everyone. I'm excited to tell you today about the Merrenoloth, my favorite creature in all of D&D. This creature is very sadly underused. I'm the only dungeon master I know of that has ever used a Merrenoloth in a campaign. If you know of a D&D campaign that uses a Merrenoloth, or you've used one yourself, let me know in the comments. Tell me how it went. First, we'll go over its stat block. So the Merrenoloth is a Yugoloth, which is a type of fiend native to the plane of Genna, or Gehenna. Its armor class is 13. It has 40 average hit points, a walking speed of 30 feet, a swim speed of 40 feet. Saving throw proficiencies in dexterity and intelligence, skill proficiencies in history, nature, perception, and survival. All the normal resistances and immunities that are afforded to all other Yugoloths. So cold, fire, lightning, weapon attacks that aren't magical, immune to acid and poison, immune to the poison condition. It also has the typical Yugoloth senses, which is 60 feet of dark vision and 60 feet of blind sight. I really enjoy this blind sight because it's always terrifying when something knows that you're there and is turned around and can't see you. This is compounded by its 60-foot telepathy ability that all the other Yugoloths have as well. It has some crazy spellcasting abilities, including the at-will spells, Charm Person, Darkness, Detect Magic, the 3rd level spell Dispel Magic, and Gust of Wind. 3 times per day, it can cast the 3rd level spell Control Water, and once per day, it can pull out an 8th level spell Control Weather. I'll get into that in a second. It also has the typical fiend magic resistance and magic weapons, so its weapon attacks are magical, and it has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. And it is the only Yugoloth that can teleport as a bonus action. For all other Yugoloths, that is an action to teleport 60 feet. Its normal combat actions would be its multi-attack for its ore, which is +5 to hit, and deals about 8 damage each hit. It would also use its Fear Gaze, which is a typical fear effect, targeting one person within 60 feet, and a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw. So not super powerful, all in all. But with the magic resistance and the bonus action teleport, it can be extremely difficult to kill. Even though it only has those 40 hit points, it can run away extremely effectively. Not to mention catching it in the first place. Control Weather, the 8th level spell, allows you to, over a period of time, up to about an hour or two, change the weather for the entire day. So it can pick whether it's cloudy or raining or completely clear and nice. It can pick how strong the wind is. It can pick how cold or hot it is. And it can do that every day. Moving on to its lair actions and regional effects. Regional effects include the ship it's bonded to will never sink, even if its hull is breached. That ship will also always stay on course to a destination of the Merrenoloth's choice. And the creatures on the ship will always be comfortable. That effect doesn't protect against damage, but it does have a unique combo that we'll get into in a second. When the Merrenoloth is fighting on the ship, it can use one of 3 lair actions every round. The first one is the ship regains 22 or 4d10 hit points The second one is a strong wind propels the ship, increasing its speed by 30 feet until initiative count 20 on the next round. This second ability is extremely useful if you're doing a maritime combat versus other ships. The third one, and the one that has a combo effect with its regional effect, is the air within 60 feet of the ship is filled with a howling wind. Until an initiative count 20 on the next round, that area is difficult terrain, and when a medium or smaller creature flies into that area or starts its turn flying there, it must succeed on a DC 13 strength saving throw or be knocked prone. If you're going with rules as written, this third lair effect with the wind and the difficult terrain does not affect creatures that the Merrenoloth chooses, because the creatures the Merrenoloth chooses aren't discomforted by wind or weather. It specifically calls out that this effect doesn't protect against damage, so I would assume that this windy, difficult terrain would not affect these creatures either. One of the reasons this is my favorite character in all of D&D is because there's so many uses for it as an NPC or villain of some sort. If your big bad is a pirate, they can hire a Merrenoloth, and the party will never be able to find or catch them because of the constant control weather going every single day. You could have the Merrenoloth captain a ship that the party is on. I actually did this to great effect, and it was essentially a DMPC. The Merrenoloth I ran was named Marius, and he was significantly lower level than all of the players, but because he was captaining their ship, it made travel very quick and very easy. And it wasn't the usual bore and drag that travel usually is. Another way I want to use it at some point is to have a merchant hire a Merrenoloth to captain a ship that is used as a pleasure cruise, because the Merrenoloth can make it a beautiful day every day within 5 miles of itself, and the ship will almost never be in danger because the ship can be healed. In the Merrenoloth's description, it says that it can avoid all of the hazards of the sea. So it will know where all the serpents are, where the storms are coming from. Not that a storm would affect it with its control weather up. It would be a brilliant idea for a pleasure cruise with no risk to the guests whatsoever. Or you could have a Merrenoloth be a main villain for an entire campaign. It will be impossible for the party to catch up. It will be very difficult to kill him once he was caught due to his teleport bonus actions. And once they do catch up, if you want some tips on how to run that fight, I have a video right here describing my best ways to run a boss fight. I hope you enjoyed, and just remember, everything will be okay.